They gave me some cream to put on my face, but nothing with my hearing. So, of course, when I got back, Fort Stewart, down in, they gave me a hearing test. And they said, hey, you lost your hearing. Tell your unit when you get back. So I got back to my unit. I go for a hearing test. Hey, you lost your hearing. They send me to the VA, 3 different appointments. I get a hearing aid. I'm getting batteries every month, back on the old, batteries. And the lady said, have you put in a claim yet? And I said, no. And I put in a claim, and they turned me down. So it was like, oh my God. So that's why I started becoming a BSO, because it was that ridiculous. I said, I'm going to figure this out. You're not going to send me batteries every month. You're not going to make me sign for this hearing aid. They even matched it in my hair color,
Is this a VA?
Yeah. So 5 tests, receiving batteries, and a hearing aid. I put in a claim, and they turned me down. So I just started fighting it, and then I finally got it. And then this past year, I went again to get rid of the battery-operated one because it was falling apart. So they gave me the rechargeable ones. But they said, you've lost the majority of your hearing in your other ear. And I said, yeah, I was blown up. So that happens. So and the thing about it is, and remember we were talking about our parents. My mother was really big on don't point something out unless you have a solution. Don't point out a problem unless you have a solution, because if not, then you're just part of the problem. So I have a solution to all this. I really do. I have a solution to working through the inundated, overwhelmed VA system. There are military units in the National Guard and Reserves, and they don't do any training on the weekends. The reason why they don't do any training is medical training is the most expensive training to fund. It's more expensive than going to the range and shooting up ammo. Because every time you tear open a bandage to put on a fake, situation for training, you can't use that bandage anymore, and those things are expensive. Why not make their weekend drills and their annual training, their AT, in VA hospitals? In uniform. They're already getting paid, and every last veteran in that hospital would be somebody there in uniform taking care of me. I'd love it. So I brought it up to the director of Veteran Affairs in Alabama, and he said, we're going to do this. And he started a pilot program last year. And he said, it's working out really, really good. You know what most of these people that are in the National Guard that are medics, you know what they do in their civilian jobs? They're EMTs. They work in hospitals. They're nurses. They're CNAs. They have to have continuing education to keep their military certifications. And their civilian jobs won't give it to them because civilian is different than military. The VA can sign off on that stuff. Yeah. So now the expensive, because an EMT...
I'd give anything to get that signed off for me.
Yeah, so you see what I'm saying? Is the military medics that need their MOS training signed off on is now being signed off. This guy was an admiral. The guy who runs the Alabama VA was an admiral. Yeah. And so he's like, yeah, tell me I can't sign something. And I'm like, no, sir. You have the stars, and you're the director. You can sign anything you want. He goes, I'll make sure it flows. Good. So I would love to see that in Georgia, because we have an infantry brigade in the National Guard here, the 48th Infantry Brigade, and they deploy every 3 years.
You got the military police ones, right?
They're part of the brigade.
Yeah,
they're part of the 48th.
A friend of mine was in the Guard. He's in McAllen, Texas right now.
Yeah. They're grabbing these guys from the 48th Brigade year round. I know I traveled more in 6 years in the Georgia National Guard than I did in 11 years in the active duty Army before I became a pilot. Because once you become a pilot, the only thing they can use you for is being
Ralph!
Hey! Hey, young Cobra pilot.
Hey there, old Cobra pilot.
I just got a chance to talk to my Coast Guard pilot.
Ralph is so old he came with the building.
Well, the building was built in
Hey,
75.
at least he was here for New Year's, you loser.
I was here, and I had a representative here.
You were here in spirit.
I had a representative here. I knew she was in good hands. My next door neighbor was shooting his rifle off at about 6 o'clock in the
I
afternoon.
told you I would come take care of
And I
that.
lost it. I lost it.
12 gauge, 20 gauge, 410.
No,
I've got
I
two
got 'em all too.
scorpions. I got two scorpions.
You know, I went down there after, I told him to knock it off. I said, one, it's dangerous. He was shooting a Remington 700 in the air. Just over and over. Boom, boom. I'm like, what are you doing? I said, those bullets are coming down somewhere. He told me not to worry about it. I said, oh, I'm going to worry about it. If you do it again, I'm going to call the sheriff's department. He said, ain't nobody coming out here on New Year's Eve. So at 6 o'clock, you know, it starts to get dark. Well, what Knucklehead did is he went inside and got his fireworks and started launching them over the trees over my house. And so I went out there and I told him, I said, if I come down there, I'll
I
let
would have
you
gotten
off,
my
but-"
green laser and just pointed it right at him.
Well, you know what happened when I was yelling at him? A firework, it was one of those mortar tubes.
Yeah.
It fell over and hit the front of his house. His wife came out. She went ballistic. You know, he didn't even shoot him off at midnight, so he got the point. So,
He got a frying pan is what he got.
yeah, probably so. But I was like this New Year's Eve. So
I told you I'd come by.
I know.
would
I
happily
just-
return fire.
Your husband, he called too. So it was just better that I wasn't around people. And my dogs, you know, I got 2 pit bulls, and they're the sweetest dogs in the world, but they know when I'm upset. And they were just circling me, you know, just whining and crying because they knew I was mad. And so I figured, like, if I left and this guy started shooting out more fireworks, they were going to get a mess. So they tear down the house. I'd come home, the whole house would be torn down. They'd be like, hey, Dad,
You're home.
look what happened while you were gone.
They'll never guess what happened while you were gone.
The Russians invaded.
So let me ask you, is it possible to use the facility for a,
That would be a call between your organization and our commander, Tom Williams, who actually had to leave here earlier today. He was feeling kind of not worth the
Sick
hanging
leave.
around. Yeah, he was feeling kind of crappy, so he left early. However, I can put you in touch with him. I'm the actual rental coordinator, so it would be just a matter of figuring out when are you, if you had like an ideal calendar, what would you be looking for?
I'm guessing like so you guys need Tuesdays here?
First Tuesday of every month is when the actual post meeting happens.
Yeah, okay.
And for the most part, the way this works is Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Bingo is in the main hall from 7:30 to about 10 o'clock p.m. On Sundays, bingo starts at 2, but the building opens at 9, so that way they get the opportunity to do a really good deep clean. And there's a church that meets in the meeting room downstairs. On Tuesdays, we also have, it's the second and the third Tuesday of the month. The second and the Tuesday of the month, I believe, is the 40 and 8 and the Shriners. The Shriners meet up here, the 40 and 8 meets down there, and the American Legion Riders is the third Tuesday of the month. They meet down there. Now, that being said, on Mondays, while bingo's going on up here, we have the Scouts are using the meeting room from time to time for the girls' troop, which I lead. Depends on what we're doing and if we're on the property. If we're on the property, we're in the meeting room on Monday nights. The fourth Tuesday of the month is typically free for both spaces until we start doing our thing, and that's when the cat's away, the mice are going to play, because we're gonna use the spaces for a drone racing league, because I have keys and so does he. But again, it comes down to, if you're planning an event on a Wednesday or a Thursday, the meeting room for the most part is pretty open. Fridays, we start getting into the rentals. Saturdays, we start getting into the rentals. Sundays after 3, that space is open. Because the church, I don't rent that space out. That space is the church's until 3 p.m. on Sunday.
Yeah, we have not started this yet, so like, I know Thursday would probably be good.
Okay.
Now, during the day, too.
It just depends on whether I'm filming or not.
Right. And then, I mean, if it's something that's going to be set up and reoccurring, I mean, I can open the place. I'm here.
What it
Pretty
comes
much
down to
Tuesday
is,
through-
obviously we're none of us are paid. I'm paid a commission on the rentals, but again, this is, if it is something as far as what the actual events are and how it's managed and that kind of stuff, that as far as if it would cost your organization or not, that is a commander's call.
Now, is this part of the 501c3 that you're talking
Again, I can't speak for the commander. I have to defer to his judgment on that. But, you know, we do have organizations that use the space gratis, because they are a kissing cousin with us. You know, they're a hand in hand with
They're on your
us.
side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Gen- Generally, it has to go along with our pillars. You know, if it's something for the community.
we have 4
Yeah.
pillars: veteran service, youth programs, Americanism, and veteran affairs.
Yeah.
Isn't it veteran affairs?
It's pretty much what I follow.
So, or military. I'm sorry, it's active military, veterans affairs, youth programs, and Americanism. Those are 4 pillars.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a good picture.
Well, one of
He's
the,
very proud of it. That's his wife. That's
oh yeah,
Ralph and his wife Annalise.
we also have a youth group from youth 13 to 17. Those parents may be PTSD.
Okay.
How can they function? So we actually have 3 groups. We have the male, we have the female, we have the student youth.
The only trick would be how you would want to divvy up the space. If you do not want to have the youth in, I'm assuming that the adults would be the ones bringing the child who's.
I assume so. It's
Okay.
13 to 17. They don't, I don't think 2 and 3-year-olds. That's
No, and I get that, but it's as far as how much space you need, because the room that's in the meeting room is a 35.5 by 48 room, but it's one space. It's not multiple rooms. Does that make sense?
yeah.
It would just be a matter of trying to figure out how to divvy up, you know, if you're looking for privacy purposes, if you're looking for like a group chat where you've got, you know, a couple of teenagers and their parents go, that didn't fucking happen, you know, that kind of stuff. You know, not that I've ever seen that happen.
All right.
No, the Army kids.
I'm an Air Force kid, so I know exactly how this plays out.
But we're just starting.
Okay.
Locally. There's others going on.
Well,
We're starting one here in Loganville area.
again, I have no issue working with you in any way, shape, or form. Like I said, I can't speak for the commander as far as what financially the resources would be available to you, or you know how that would work out. That's up to him. We do typically require that each individual entity, including the 501Cs, have insurance for their participation on the property.
Makes sense.
So,
You almost have to. Anyway.
you know, our Tai Chi on Wednesdays, they've got
Yeah.
insurance. You know, the Civil Air Patrol, the Sea Cadets, the Boy Scouts, they all have to have insurance for being on the property, and that's just to cover your ass situation.
That's because our insurance won't cover.
Yeah, if we are not physically hosting, if the American Legion Post itself is not physically hosting it,
We're not covered.
our umbrella policy says, nope, not our circus, not our monkeys, and they will literally pull back from it. So if someone with your organization trips over a picnic table and, you know, requires surgery on their left toe, you know, we're all up the creek on that, and that's the reason for that.
Not me. I have 3 left toes.
That doesn't surprise me. Window
I
lifter.
swim in a circle. Nobody's business.
How you doing, sir?
Hi, I'm Tom.
Ralph Mullins. How you doing?
And
This is my mentor.
Okay.
He's my helicopter pilot crush.
Yeah, this is
Gotcha.
my mentor. In life and Legion.
I was tickled pink to see you and Helen dancing on New Year's Eve.
Oh,
I was tickled pink. That was great.
Why would you expect anything less from us?
You know, he's such a ladies' man.
Oh,
But-
no. It goes with it's part of the Cobra Pilot.
But to
MLM.
see both of you enjoying your evening, that was great. Because
That's-
she needed it too.
that's part of the Cobra transition.
ex-wives and the ladies.
Not at the same time.
Hey, you've never been in the O Club at Fort Rucker.
Let
I've
me,
seen many of guys go, wife.
let me tell you this. When I went to flight school in 68, at the
That's 1868.
they were giving away Corvettes at bingo. There were that many people playing bingo.
Damn.
The Officers Club at Fort Rucker.
Minks. I mean, it was incredible what they were giving away. I never won any.
We had a golf course. You ever play golf? Man?
I was on the course.
We had a golf course part of our O Club at Fort Rucker. It was great. We had an equestrian. We had a stables with horses.
Mother Rucker.
Mother. I didn't want them to be confused. Everybody always returns to Mother Rucker. That's the joke.
Funny.
Because when you're a helicopter pilot, throughout your course of flying for the Army, you're always going to end up back
Rucker.
at Mother Rucker. Because the 3 schools are there. You track one of 3 ways as a cover pilot, or as any pilot. Safety, maintenance, or instructor pilot.
And if you go back for another Q course, another qualification course,
Correct.
it's all Mother Rucker.
Nice.
I was 100% civilian in all of my flight training. I'm glider, single engine, and helicopter. So
And you-
I flew around.
How many, as far as warrant officers, there's only probably 14,000 aviation warrant officers. You know everybody. Just everywhere you go, you're always like, hey man, I haven't seen you in a couple of years, you know. I showed up at 10th Mountain Division. I walked in, they said, they were introducing me as the new flight operations officer. Everybody started laughing when he said my name. It's like I already know all of y'all.
Well, if you ever want to find out how much of a vamp this guy is, go in there and look at his fruit salad that he's got on his
Yeah.
uniform in the box back there. So.
Yeah. They give them some-
I'll pay you later.
Like I said, you're my helicopter pilot crush. General George Harrison's my aviation. He's my fixed wing crush.
You're also part of the honor guard, or
Speaking of that, if you guys ever take
Those
some
guys.
pictures, I want to be the first one.
I don't know how many ceremonies do y'all do a year?
Gosh, the last couple of months, not counting December, but prior to December, in the last month and a half time period before that, we probably did 8.
Well, can I send you guys information on this thing?
Sure,
Absolutely
give me a
not.
second. Let me get you.
You gonna get one of my cards?
Yes,
Okay.
let me get you.
And I'll send it to you. You can,
Please do. I'm interested for both parts. Our junior vice commander, she runs the Vector program at the homeless, but she'll also be partnering up with me with the nonprofit, and we're going to be here in Louisville. And since I'm the VP of Outcry Initiative, they've asked, they're in Birmingham, they've asked to partner with us here too. So we're going to have homeless women, we want to do all the counseling, we want to do all those things. We want to provide transportation to appointments because once COVID is over, it'll go back to if you miss an appointment, then
If it
you're
ever
not
gets
taking
open.
it serious. It'll.
So this is Mike's business card, and this is mine, and Tom Williams is the commander, and this is how you would get a hold of him. Through me, so, and I can make sure that he gets that.
and both of you guys have your phones down here?
Mine's at the bottom, and everything's at the bottom.
And my email address.
Yep, so his
Okay.
stuff's right there, my stuff's right
All right.
And we're up here
I'll shoot you guys some stuff.
every day.
there.
We're mighty
I'm
proud.
Up here. I'm up here if I'm not filming, so. My daughter does TV and movie in the area, so. She's been in 65 TV shows and 16 movies in the last 4.5 years.
Wow.
We're mighty proud of what we do.
Glad to hear it.
Mighty proud.
We accomplished a lot more than the
She's
VFW.
11 now. This picture was taken when she was 6, but she was in war with
Oh, we
Grandpa
didn't
when
drink.
this picture was taken.
Good.
So, yeah.
Cool. Well, appreciate your time. Well,
We
Thank
sincerely
you. We appreciate you coming by. Oh,
First
I gotta get
Thursday-
ready for the meeting tonight.
first
I'm not doing
Thursday
anything.
of the month
You,
is
you want to do something funny?
Dinner.
good.
You don't
So
want
the
to?
dinner
Yeah,
starts at 7, and the actual meeting
I've
starts
been
at
coming up here to these
It's
meetings.
a lot of pomp and circumstance, but you can find out what
Yeah,
they're up
give me a big
to
old
as
plate.
opposed to.
It was one number.
You're welcome to do a walk-in. Yeah, walk-in, yeah, absolutely. Or you can have a YouTube channel as well. So,
This whole time I've been coming up here, mooching off
I
everybody.
think it would like a good picture to come on.
tonight, actually tonight,
I
at
told Susie,
7
I
is
said,
when dinner starts, 8 o'clock is when the meeting starts.
and she goes, "Well, I need this." They're mooching off everybody. She goes, "I think it'll be okay." I said, "No, I'm gonna go get some
Contact me, we'll
chicken.
get
It's
you the
not."
YouTube channel information so you can actually watch the meeting at your leisure. And if you have any questions or if you want to get involved, it will also get you well versed in the different committees that we have here. We have one called Champs, which is where every first grader gets a flag And it's an Americanism type.
We,
Just
They go
match
to
it
the
up.
local schools here, elementary schools, and they give all the first graders.
Julie could have did
They help
that.
them with the first, with
we
the,
have,
Pledge of Allegiance, and they have to understand flag code
Oh, okay.
and Americanism.
Well,
And that's called champs.
the attorney I'm talking to
Boy
lives
Scouts,
there.
we've
He
got
filed the
the,
paperwork for the
40 and 8,
nonprofit.
which is.
She
the
said, okay,
actual
well, you
World
gotta have
War
an end
I
result.
organization.
What is it that you're trying to fix?
World War I or World War
I
II.
said, I want to end.
Anyhow, 40 men or 8
That
pounds.
is
a lower
Resources, right? Yeah, there you go. So they're, but they have the, Chief de Guerre, I think is what they call it, the head honcho for them. He comes up and gives his.
I said, what? There's like 50 or
They
60,000
do
of them.
a fundraiser
I should be able to do that in a
to
couple
assist
years.
nursing students with their state
Oh.
loans. So they'll do like a scholarship program for nursing students. They also assist with the Milledgeville Veterans Home and getting supplies that they need, short-term supplies for veterans and all that stuff. Again, the Shriners supporting the Shriners meet
And I
here.
can't, this
And they
one's
do,
whistling.
typical Fez.
And this one won't sync up.
They do, the burn centers and all those kinds of
That's
things.
it.
Yeah,
They remember the song.
yes.
That's why I think
That
they
is.
Mhm, I do know.
I've been trying to
Yeah,
do
so
like
they
2
meet here, basically, we try to do a lot of good, and we try to do it coordinated. Sometimes we miss on the coordination, but we do our best.
When you got that many balls in the air,
Yeah.
moving around, and in different places.
This post is one of the most active in the state, or one of the largest in the state. And I know in the past year that we've paid for over 1,500 hotel rooms for displaced veterans and their families. At Christmas, we helped 40 families, veterans' families and their children with toys for Christmas. And then on the Tuesday before Thanksgiving and the Tuesday before Christmas, Thursday before Christmas, we hosted 15 families each dinner for holiday meals. So we try to do a lot for the community here. And like I said, my rentals are a drop in the bucket to help this place keep operating and help out the community.
Appreciate you.
Well, thank you for your time. We appreciate you coming
Thank
on.
you.
Thank you so much for stopping in.
No, I just had surgery 2 months ago in my back, so
Take your time.
I got my, clean up the product.
That's one of the other things that we do here is we have a lending library for health service medical equipment. So if somebody comes in and says, hey, my dad just took a tumble and he needs a walker or a wheelchair or any of that kind of stuff, we lend out those articles, we pick them up, we send them back out. So
Tom, what was the name of your organization again?
Operation Not Forgotten.
Not Forgotten.
I think I'd be interested in hearing what you had to say.
Army guys up here.
No, there was a point now, wait a minute, there was a time where there were so many Navy guys in there, the commander thought the building was gonna start to sway.
Man, all we're getting is Navy guys.
My husband's a Marine, so.
That's where Navy big brother, Navy big. This,
That's-
when Navy
that's,
showed the crayons.
Yeah. Well, it's always in their 40s.
Listen, my brother-in-law, we were over there together, and, he was Marine, I was I'm not a son. I didn't
I've got your camera set up,
Okay.
so I will man that. I'm also your
I
bartender.
thought my oldest-
Carol's only day off. She's asking for-
Oh, my son.
So when my kid's back, I'll let him know.
Yeah, he was a Southern Polytech.
What time do you want to borrow?
You asked that like I'm in charge.
You're the officer, sir. You are my boss.
I'm sure Tom will be in here pretty soon.
Sir, he does not feel well. He ended up having to leave. He started to feel kind of achy, coldy, kind of crappy. So he took a dive real quick and he was like, I'm so the hell out of here. Like, this.
So the other side is zombie. But, yeah, I don't think that they were something control. 6 hours of design.
Yeah, I don't think she can.
He plays video games. Yeah. He plays video games all day long. And he's the project he's on now is 18 months. That's still the same for 3 or 4 days, right, stuff. When we get to talks like, South Korea, and all the comments, all. We're working on it. Any working on that. I'll shoot you, so that'd be great. What they do, our everyday clients, I'm not negative credit. We work for it. So, and like I said, freelance, you see, unfortunately, yeah, there's. Anyway, you as well, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it. Oh, that's nice. That's real good. Yeah. I know. We would go to my mom's. That's why I did it. I wouldn't.
Well, I think that will be fine. Regardless of what someone's
Picture of the cobra that's sitting in the snow. You know, you can tell a real cobra hunter. He knows that that red cobra is moving forward.
That's a campground.
Camp drum.
And we went up there in 77.
Camp drum, yeah. Well, see, I was stationed on Fort Drum, but I was on Griffith Air Force because the airfield was drum. Right before tomorrow.
I got a picture of that name that's not here, but it's on the computer. It's got the name and field elevation.
Yeah, Griffith Air Force Base is where you keep airfield. The nuclear B-52. So you got nuclear B-50, C-135, right? And A2 squadrons, CAV squadron, and attack helicopter. The CAV squadron.
Air Force.
At this time, this was 89, it was after the so the CAV squadron had all lines with the chunker of the England and student
With
with
Ace.
yeah, and then we had the Foxtrots with the square off had a little ALQ 144, so this code line is over. Yeah. How about that? It's amazing how you remember
Yeah,
this.
the proximity warning devices, they came in and put in, well, I didn't know that was wrong.
I remember at school when I went through the OH-58 transition in the Charlie lines, because there's two transitions. OH-58 alphas had a different engine than the OH-58 Charlies, so it was a separate transition. So when I was going through the Charlie transition, I was thinking I was going to end up flying Delta with the Vulcan, you know? And so I was like, I want to fly guns, I want to fly guns. And the Apache was still having its issues, you know? So when I'm in the Charlie line, we were flying APGs, and the pursuit was you're sitting there flying along, and you're like, that little arrows on. I don't know if you remember, but that's little arrows. It's right up behind you, training device. All right, I gotta run on that dog with that.
Look it up, Mike.
You keep asking me for that, I keep telling you, I got.
It's the wedding time, you don't want to get married.
I'm not getting married.
You'll never know. How are you trying here? Go ahead. I didn't know you were really nice.
I'm getting Rockford, Hey, is it hot enough for you?
It's a bit warm in here. Yeah, it's here.
How you doing, Miss Judy?
I've been good when he's here.
I think you got it, warm water.
Keep telling you, I know. I share.
A little share, right?
I can't spend all the
Hey,
money.
hey, a little share,
I
right?
can't spend all the money on my own.
What do you got, her? She definitely can spend.
I'm sure she can.
Mom, you're still not paid.
Yeah, no, you're still not paid yet.
I'm still not paid.
Your expenses.
That's what happened. Hey, this is what you did.
Yes, you are.
One of the senators.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, she got a report with that.
Oh no, I know where this is going.
Keep on right here. She can't go in, I won't be able to see her. Here's why I ain't gonna drive the car down. Need some help, young man?
Looks like I got it, don't I?
Got that?
Are you kidding, Gary? Yes.
Good.